We're continuing our Shiurim on Matbayah Bracha. We are still in the Hagdamas of Melech HaOlam. And we're just going to recap what we learned more or less last time. Let's actually give an overview. So when we're speaking about doing a mitzvah or any type of tefillah, we are always replicating the process over and over again. It's called the tikkun process. What does that entail? That entails interacting with the yud spheres which are coming up from the Einayim Da'ak. We know there are yud spheres, Keser, Chochma, Bina, Das, and all into Malchus they came out from the Einayim Da'ak. And they shattered, or there was a pagam, everybody in their various levels, and they went down into Bia. They went into Bia. Now, the way the Arizal learns is not exactly, well, I should be very careful the way I say this, the way the Rashash learns is not proficient in the Arizal B'chalal. It's rather more amkus. So, and since we're doing the Matbayah Bracha, which is the halacha l'mais as they call it, so we're going to show a few charts now on how the Rashash takes on these Yud Nekudas. We spoke about this last time. We know that the Arizal tells us in HaOlam that every Nekuda has 10 times 10. So Ba'etzem, every Nekuda that came out from the Einayim Da'ak were 100 Nekudas. With every Nekuda. So Keser came out 100 Nekudas, 100 spheres in Keser. And then Chochma, 100 there, 100 there, and so on and so forth. Well, I should be more Meduik. It's not that the fact that it came out, each one had that potential. What actually came out is only 1/10 of that. And it was the lowest tenth, which is the Malchus of that. So it's 1/10 of that. So let's show a chart over here. For example, when we speak about Keser, so let's say this is the spheres of Keser the Nekudim. So again, this Keser has 10 by 10. This is 100 spheres. What actually came out from the Einayim Da'ak was only this, only the Malchus of that Keser. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So Mamayit, really the Shvira was Mamayit and localized to the 10 Malchus of the Keser. When Chochma came out the Einayim Da'ak, also the same scenario was, so only 10 came out, 10 Malchus. Bina, also 10 Malchus came out. When he came to the lower 6, which is Chesed, Gvur, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, what happened was even less came out. It was only the 6 Malchus that came out, the 6 lower Malchus. The Malchus of Chesed, Malchus of Gvur, of Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. So it wasn't all 10, it was only 6. And when Malchus came out, it was only 1/100th. It was 1/100th of that came out. So it's true, Bashub Sham, the Arizal, 10 Nekudas came out, but according to the Rashash, it was, you can see the difference between Pashub Sham and more, but Amkas is really only one, it was 10 parts of the 100 which came out for the first 3 spheres, Chochma Bina Das, Chochma Bina, Keser Chochma Bina, and when it came to the Vak, only 6 spheres, and Malchus only.
Of those Vak, that means really that you can make six pictures of the same thing.
Yeah. 6 pictures. Yeah.
One Chesed, one Gvur, each.
Yeah.
And what happened to the other 9/10? Or
stayed inside.
They stayed inside.
They're going to come out b'shas tikkun.
But that means that they're not part of the Bakoach of this. You were saying before it was potentially there. It's not there. It's separated.
I mean, potentially there. When it's inside Adam Kadmon, it looks like this. It's one big sphere. What actually came out was only this. This located itself from the rest of it.
They are not joined.
Dislocated, yeah.
Right, fine.
One's outside, one's inside.
It's not a potential of that 10th. The 1/10 is now a separate entity.
Completely separate, right. Okay, so that's all V'shas Shvil, as we call it. Okay? Now, when we're doing Torah mitzvahs, tefillah, we're doing the tikkun. Now, what's going to happen in Shas tikkun? As we know in Sha'atik, as we learn in Otzrot Chaim or Otzrot Chaim, we know that the way you make a tikkun is you bring the component of ma, and you bring the component of ben, together to be mashlim, whatever was, whatever needs hashlama. So let's compare again. So let's talk about Kesser, for example. So again, Kesser came out only the Malchus. So what do you need hashlama? You need the hashlama of all this. Now where is this hashlama going to come from? Now, let me just add one more detail over here. When we're talking about the Malchus that came out, only the Malchus, and this being the Kesser, that you have to understand this is only one facet of Kesser. This is only the ben of the Kesser, the nukva side of the Kesser. But you have to know, if I were to, let's say, to turn this around, you'd see there's a Zohar chelik of it. That also didn't come out. So it's not emes that it's really all this is what you see is what there was. This is not the sphere of Kesser. Really, this is only one part. This half of spheres of Kesser. This is called the ben of the Kesser. The mal of the Kesser also stayed inside. So it's much less than it didn't come out at all. No. Didn't come out at all.
And that also has 100 parts?
Yes, on the other side, it's 50%, right? You say it's a ball, you said you cut it in half. Only half the ball came out, and only 1/10 of that half came out. Okay? So for the hashlama, you would need the other side, which is called the ma. And this chelik is called the ben. You need the hashlama, 9/10 of the ben. And if I would turn the picture around, I would need the 10 parts of the ma to come out. Ben and ma just refers to Zohar Nukva. So that, again, 10 parts of 100 of the Nukva side came out. And for the Hashlama, you're going to have the 9 parts to come out of the Nukva side. And then 10 parts of, or 100 parts, the entire side of the male side, the Ducha side, didn't come out. Now, B'shas Tikkun is going to come out. So, B'kitzur, you're going to need 9 parts of the Ben and 10 parts of the Ma to come out, to be mashlimed, to complete this picture, and therefore all of this will then be black on both sides, the Ben side and the Zohar side. Now you'll do that for every single sphera. So the less that came out, the more tikkun you're going to need, right? So he's going to need more tikkun. The Chagad now is going to need more tikkun than this because more came out over here, and the Malchus is going to need the most amount of shefa because she only came out. She had the least amount of shvir, the Maisa. She's a mile better. Least amount of shvir and the most amount of tikkun. So let's see that inside over here. So this is the tikkun. This is what we're doing over here in Melech HaOlam. We'll see how that works. So we're going to learn it outside with the charts, and then we're going to see the words inside and how that fits in. So we're going to work with the spheres of Kesser. Now remember I told you the 2 sides of it? These are the 2 sides. These are the 2 sides, right? I told you it's a ball, right? I told you on the other side of the page, but on this particular picture, it's on. This is the nukva side, and this is the ducha side, which did not come out, and this is the nukva side that came out.
So you're saying the tikkun is when what's bifnim is roots in luchot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's called tikkun.
That's hashlomas sphira. The hashlomas sphira is happening over here. So what's going to come out? Let's start from the ben side.
So if it broke, then you only need some sakin chelik that broke. Chelik that stayed inside, the chelik doesn't need any tikkun.
Right. That's really what I was asking. No, you're saying forget. You're saying that it's all tikkun when you want mutzi, that which was bifnim, which should have come out but didn't. So therefore the tikkun is bringing it out in order to be with the bit which is outside. So that obviously needs more tikkun.
Right, but he's asking though, even though Hagam, let's say this is the only thing that broke, so whatever is broken is fixed. Whatever this is not broken, so why bother? Why
that was what I asked
bring
you.
it out?
You said the same tikkun is only when it's
that's
right.
right.
Only what you take
So
out.
Taichin tikkun is that you're both right? Theoretically right. Only something which is broken. But we're not only trying to do a tikkun, the hainu, rectify something which is broken. We're trying to make it better than it is. That's important. Understand that.
Yeah, how you masakin what's broken by schlepping out the other chalak. You have to masakin also the chutz as well.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is not being masakin over here.
Yeah.
That's something else. That we'll discuss We won't discuss this in Matbayah Bracha. That we'll discuss in Otzrot Chaim and Otzrot Chaim how that happens. Okay, those are all the shvios going up, and they go up into Ima, and they collaborate, and the Shah Anach speaks about that, and they go back down into Bia, the Yonik from the Shtei Dadim of Atik. So that's all doing a tikkun, a local tikkun here in these 10 malchias over there. That's not what we're doing over here. That's after the Meiser. It's not mentioned over here, but you have to have those kavanas if you know what that means. But chutz mizeh, besides fixing what's broken, which is a good point, you're going to need harashlama to make it even better. The high you're making what originally was a nekuda katana into a part of shalom. Parts of shalom. You find these two different definitions in Sha'an Lamed and Etzchai. The difference between a nekuda, a sphere, and a partzuf. Partzuf is the ultimate. That's the ultimate, and we're not going to go into right now. Why is that?
Well, couldn't the tikkun be just as much taking that tenth and putting it back in to the other 9/10, rather than bringing the 9/10 to the 10th?
Well, we don't want to do that because we want to create this world. We want to create us. The whole tachlis is to give us something to do. Right? So we want to come out, the Eibshter wants us to come up with a poem. We're all there inside, right? And Echanami. We're all Dovik B'Hashem. But that's in the Shorish. But he wants us to come out with a poem, and he wants us to give us a scenario in which to do Torah mitzvahs. And that has to happen through a way of the Shvir of the Malachim. Through the Shvir of the Malachim, as we learned, that gives forth the sigim, a potential for sigim to come out, and the tumah to come out from the spheres. That creates the ganze HaOlam HaChazeh. That creates everything else which is there, including us. Our neshamas come out from this. And that allows us to come and to do Torah mitzvah, to choose between Torah and Ra. But if you're saying what you're saying, that just put it back, which sounds like a great idea. Why take out 9/10 of Ben and 10/10 of Ma? Just take out the miyut, put the miyut back to the roy. Why bring the rov to the miyut? It's a good kasha. But the teretz is, that's not the tafkid. The tafkid is we want to build something outside. The Eibshter wants to build this world and all the other worlds outside in order to make it, to manifest everything the poem.
Yeah, but couldn't you put the 10th back to 9/10, then bring out all 10/10?
Well, why do that?
Well, that's the question. Wouldn't that be easier?
Be easier? What, to bring it in and bring it back out? Why just bring it back out? There's no reason why doing two quarters. Anyway, so we're going to do that for the Keser, you're going to do that for Chochmah, you're going to do that for all the spheres. Now we're focusing on the Keser. Now, on the Mas side, we know the Mas side B'chalal didn't come out. So all the 100 spheres on the Mas side, which is the Ducha side, is going to come out. Now, when you come to the Ben side, what's going to happen over here is that it's a little bit of contradiction to this picture over here. But let me be masbih a little bit here. One more Hagdom before we move on to the Tikkun. So in the Shvir, what happened is that Keser broke. Now, the Arizal explains so that Keser was divided into two parts. Keser will then become Atik and will become Arich. It's exceptional because usually every other part of this Chochmah, sphere of Chochmah becomes Abba, this sphere of Chochmah, the sphere of Bina becomes Bina, Ima. So this becomes Abba, this becomes Ima. Here it's exceptional, it becomes two different partzufim. So saying that when the 10 Malchus came out, half was for Atik and half was for Arich. Okay? So here's Atik's Malchus that we saw in that picture, because we're only talking about Atik over here. So the Hashlama is going to be obviously the other 5 Malchus, and the 9/10 that belong to every single category. And on the Ducha side. So when all that comes out, this is going to come out from the forehead, from the Metzach. It's coming from the Anayim again. And therefore, you have the Hashlama, you get parts of Shalom called Atik. Same thing is going to happen for Arich. Arich, the Ducha didn't come out. Only the Shvir happened into the 5 lower spheres. He's going to have the Hashlama over here. Then the Hashlama of the 9/10. You're going to have a full-blown part of it. Instead of only having Keser, which this is the only thing that came off in the Anayim, the act for Arich, you're going to have now a full-blown part of called Atik. Arich, sorry.
Then you have the same ma and ben used twice, no?
So this is the chokhmah dema, which is Arich is going to take. That wasn't taken by Atik. Atik took the kesed dema.
At least half of it.
No, he took the entire kesed dema. Atik took the entire kesed dema, and Arich took the entire chokhmah dema. It's a different sphere. That's kesed the chokhmah. You're right that the ben was shared. You're right that the ben was shared. It actually doubled, as we spoke about last time at the end of the shir, that the kesed the ben was shared. Somehow it's mashma. He says over here, he asks sort of a kasha from the Chol Sanan, also mashma and Perik Hay in Shah Atik, that the kesed the ben was shared both by Atik and both by Arich. So no, but that's exceptional. Okay. Then let's continue. Then so now we fixed up the kudos of kesed became Atik and Arich. Now what's after that? Two other nekudas came out. There's a chokhmah bina. As we showed over here, what came out of the chokhmah of the bina? From the Einayim Da'ak. We said the 10 malchias came out as well, chokhmah of the bina. So to be mashlim, then you're going to need 9/10 of the ben, and also 10/10 theoretically of the ma. Theoretically, but that doesn't happen. What's going to happen? The chalukah. This is called, by the way, chalukas shefa. Chalukas shefa. Each one's going to take some shefa in order to grow itself. So Abba is going to take, says Rashash, the keta, the chokhmah of the bina dema. Okay, and also he's going to take. What else he's going to take? He's going to take as well. He's going to take the chokhmah of ben. He's going to take the vav ketzavos, the vav ketzavos of the chokhmah de ben. Ima is going to take the vav ketzavos of the bina de ben. Okay. Now, when you move to bina and chokhmah bina are not going to take the same quantity of spheres as we saw that Atik and Arich took. Atik and Arich, we saw it's clear cut. They took 100% of the ma chelik, and let's say 90% of the ben chelik, whatever their shlom. So that was very nice. When you come to chokhmah and bina, it's not the case at all. What's going to happen in chokhmah and bina? That they're going to take. Abba is going to take. He's going to draw his source from the bina dema. Why doesn't he go to chokhmah or the kesed dema? Because that's already been taken. The kesed dema was taken from Atik. The chokhmah dema has been taken from Arich. So what's left? The bina and downwards. So which part of bina? Not the entire bina. He's only going to take the kesed, the chokhmah of the bina. That's Abba. That's Abba. Ima is going to take the bina of the bina dema. We don't ask why. That's what they took. That's what they took.
I mean, it fits that bina should take bina. No?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't always work that way, because we're going to see that he's going to take chokhmah is going to take from Abba is going to take from the bina as well. Mm-hmm. So, what we see over here, for example, Abba now will also take from the chokhmah the ben, right, which is a nukva. So he's taking from the nukva side, and he's going to take the chesed gvul tiferet netzach hod yesod. He's going to take all that as well.
And before, but chokhmah ben wasn't taken by something.
The chokhmah the ben, the chokhmah was not taken now. No, Atik took all. They took the kesed dema and the kesed ben. Arich took the chokhmah dema and he took the kesed dema, kesed ben. Right? When you come to the chokhmah of ben, that's something new. Nobody had Atik also took, but he only took a chelik. He took the keser, the chokhmah, and the bina of the ben, of the chokhmah the ben. That he did take. That's something else. He took the har and the dar and the gar and the dar. Here's the gar and here's the dar. That means the gimel rishonos, keter chokhmah bina, and the dar, which is that. So Atik took quite a bit. He took the Kesed Dema, he took the Bina the Bina the Ben, the Kesed the Ben. He took the Gar of the Chokhmah the Ben, and he took the the Dar of the Bina the Ben. He's the one who took the most. Getting back to Abba, he took the Vav Ktsavos of the Chokhmah the Ben, and Ima took the Vav Ktsavos of the Bina the Ben. That's Chokhmah the Ben, it's Bina the Ben. Okay? Then you had Yisod Saba, he took...
They did anything from Ma? They didn't take anything from Ma?
Yeah, they took from... I showed you before, by the Ma side, the Bina the Ma, so Abba took the Ketz and Chokhmah, and then you had the Ima took the Bina the Ma. Again, don't ask me why, this is the Chalukas Shefa, which is brought down. This is what they took in order to be mashlim the Shefa. And then you have all the Sveikas and Shana Atik, you know. How exactly did they use this Shefa? Yisod Saba, let's just finish off. Yisod Saba, which is the next part too. He took from the Bina Dema, he took the Vav Ketzavos. Tvuna took, which is the next part of, she took only from the Malchus of the Bina Dema. What else did they take? Yisod Saba took from the Chokhmah the Ben. He took the Malchus of the Chokhmah the Ben. And Tvuna took the Malchus of the Bina the Ben. Okay? So that's so far, that's Keser, that's so far, which parts of we've done? We've done Atik, Arer, Abba, Ima, Yisod Saba, Tvuna. Now what about Zah? What does Zah take? Here we go. Zah, remember Zah only broke the Vav Ketzavos of the Malchus, right? So here's the Ashlam over here. This is actually the Ma, okay? So all of this, the Ma Bechlad didn't come out. So he's going to take all of this to be Mashlim. Because he's only Vav Ketzavos. This is what broke, right? This is what came out. He's going to take all this, except for this. Also, Atik is going to take the Ksavim. And finally, for Nukva, remember, was only a Nukuda Ketana she came out. So she's going to have the Shlama except for the Kesek, because that's Atik. And the Ma Bechlad didn't come out, so that's her Shlama. Okay? So that is everything. Bekitzer Nimot, it's not something you can memorize so quickly, but you have the Siddur. The Siddur Shash will say this before, so it's nothing to worry about if you didn't catch all the details. You'll be able to see it in the Siddur, and at least you'll recognize and try to remember these charts a little bit. You have the basic framework to work with. Okay. So now let's get a quick run through Melech HaOlam, and then Hashem, we're going to start working more Be'iyun, to understand all the words and so on and so forth. So as a person would say the words Melech HaOlam, let's see what the Rashash says. Yechaven limtzo atzmo al kiddush Hashem. So there's a bit of a shaila over here whether a Mesiras Nefesh has to be done or not. But the general klal in the Rashash is, if you want to make anything move in Ruchnis, the klal is you need Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh. Now, what is Mesiras Nefesh? Now, we learn Derech Musa, Mesiras Nefesh, you gotta go, you're a bit tired, you're a Shachis. So the Mekubalim don't have the same understanding of Mesiras Nefesh. For them, Mesiras Nefesh is the Kabbalah of Dalit Mises Beisdin. A little bit higher madrega than just pushing yourself out in bed the Shachris time for 9 o'clock minyan. But rather, it's Skila, Sreifa, Herek, Chenig. And I've seen in the Lashonis of the Mekubalim that they are very, very serious about this. They take this literally. Literally. One of the Lashonis in the Mekubalim that I read was that, what's the big deal of Mesiras Nefesh, or the Matzav, Umas HaOlam come and threaten us with Mesiras Nefesh 100 times a day. Every bracha Mesiras Nefesh. Well, what's shot? Then they
hold him by that.
They're holding by that. They made it Mesiras Nefesh. That means it's based 100 times, Meir brachas. For them, it's no invited, no. So, and there's a whole system of kavanas that we're not going to go in right now. Just want to show the outline. So, Mesiras Nefesh is the point of leaving go of your neshama, and that is sort of the spark, the generator. That's the trigger which triggers up the aliyas man. Okay? You need something to push everything going. To get the ruchnis or get the nitzutzes going, that's going to happen. It's going to have to happen through your neshama leaving and schlepping a line all the nitzutzes as well. Next line. Zechav and lalo es amochim ben aramchim hanimshachu betevas ata Hashem Elokeinu. Now let's not forget. I made a little bit of a hefsek, but we have to remember what we've been working on till now. Do you remember, Chaim? What's all the shefa? Let's just look at this picture for a minute, just to remind ourselves. Remember, as we were going through the bracha, so here is the word Baruch, here's the word Ata, here's the word Hashem, and here's the word Elokeinu. Now we had a stream of shefa coming down, which is called the panemius of the shefa, and also you had a stream of shefa coming down on the left-hand side, which is called the chitzonius of the shefa. And you're bringing that down, we learned it separately, but you're bringing that theoretically, simultaneously, all the way down. And then when you're saying the words Melech HaOlam, you're going to start pushing all that shefa that you brought down, remember, from Keta Elyon, remember those words? All the way up until Mamish Ab Sagdak. Okay? So what do we saw? We saw the Ab Sagmo. Ben, we brought down the Kasakama, and the Kana, the 5 Gvuos we brought down. In Ata, Hashem, you brought down the Chasodim, you brought them down to the Keli. And then on the Chitzoim we saw the Mabs. Remember the 3 Mabs? The Mab, the Ab, the Mab, the Sag, the Mab, the Mab. You're bringing that down. Then you brought down in Ata, you brought one by one. Ata, you brought down the right-hand side. Hashem, you brought down the middle side. And then finally, the Mab, the Sag, if I'm not mistaken, you brought down in Elokeinu. Again, there's no kavanos on the Pneumius side. So we don't just leave that there. We take all that Sheva says, Rashash, Yechav and Lalus Amorchim and Eranchi. Eranchi is the power which powers the Morchim. Shenimshuchu betevas ata Hashem Elokeinu. Is the actual substance which will create the Gilul of Partzuf. And the Neramchi is the volt. That's the electricity that makes everything work. That's the Ein Sof Shabo. Shehem, and he explains. He tells you, he doesn't. Shehem Ab Sag Ma'u Ben. As we saw, that's on the right-hand side. That's the Shefa Panimi. That's a Kasa Kama Kana. Alright, still, that's all on the Panimi side. Shem Mochim Panimim. The Gimel Patzufam Panimim. Shem Chabad Dechagat. Remember everything that we're bringing down. All the Shefa that we spoke about, it's all part of Chagat, believe it or not. Because the Chabad, the top Shefa, that's what we have to schlep all the way up to Absag back, and only then, when we say Sheikh Nishana B'mitzvoisav, or whatever, Shahakol, Ali Tisidayim, that's when we bring down the big Shefa. It's all Shefa the Kappas. So all Chagas. That's what he says over here, is the Chabad de Chagas. That's all the Shefa Penimim. And also, the Shefa Chitza, which are the Gimel Mab, the Absag Ma, the Absag Ma, Umiluyem, also the Miluyem are there. Shem Amoichim, the Shtei Patzufim Chitzonim, which are the Nai, the Chagi, the parts of Chagi, the Zah. Im and Aramchi, the Ruach Shulahem. So again, this is all part and parcel of the Chagat, and this is the Nai, the Chagat, this is all the Shefa Achitzon, which is coming down at this point as well. So again, when you're saying this word, a lot is happening. You're putting everything in position, getting the rocket ready to send it all up to Shmish Mayim. The Lashon the Rashash is, it's called Rum Malos. So if you turn over the page, we'll find all the Shefa. So let's see that. And this booklet over here, it's page 72. 72. So all that Shefa that we named, we're going to see it inside. This is the diagram. So, what do we see over here? This is the Ramchi over here that we spoke about. This is the life force which makes everything go. So this is the Absag Ma'uben. Then you have the 5 Chasadim, the 5 Gvuos that we brought down. and then you have the Kasekama Kana, and also the Naranchi over here, and this is the Shefa Achitzon over here. So all this from here on top was the Shefa Apinimi, which was on the right hand side of that diagram. And then when you come over here, this is from down here, you find all the Absag Mauben, the Mabs, the Gimel Mabin, that's the Shefa Achitzon. You're bringing all that up. You see that? Does that make sense?
It's a little bit how's it up, so which way is?
Yeah. That's right. Absag Mauben, and the Gimel Mabin. Okay, so again, this is only a quick overview, and then we'll go back, we'll see more over here. Now, on page 73, we're going to learn something as well. Another component we spoke about, we saw it in the Otzrot Chaim, in Shiur Rafach Netzutzos. So he says, in Biru Akeda Orez the Rafach, the Gimel Partzufim Kacha Bakololim the Pnimius the Oyser Partzuf. Skip the brackets. The Abir min Yaches and Yaches in Bracha Zu im Shosha Naram Chishelo Lezun. So what does that all mean? As we know, the Rafach is, as we spoke about earlier on, the Esed Nekud is coming out, they're all shattered. Where did they go to? The Kelim Shabo fell down. What accompanied the Kelim? What accompanied the Kelim that fell down into Bia? That was the Netzutzos called Rafach. Why are they called Rafach? Because there were 288. Now it's a misnomer to think there's only 288. Since there's infinite, well I won't say infinite, but there's a tremendous amount of netzut, of kelim that need to be revived and kept going, therefore it only makes sense you need the equal amount, if not more, of netzutzot over there. So why do we call it 288? So we already saw in Shiur Rafach what's pshat. So it's just a quick reminder, and then we'll go more be'iyun in this. So this is the chart of the Rafach. Some people call it the Abdu chart or the Rafach chart. We did this when we learned the inyan of the Rafach. Shiur Rafach. So let me just tell you quickly. You see this red line over here. This is the difference between Atzilus and Bria Tziasiyah. So these are the lower worlds, whatever is in white and yellow, and the higher worlds, Atzilus, is up and above. Okay, it's all in blue. So whatever you see underneath is the Rafach, which fell into the lower worlds. Particularly, we're going to focus on the three Abim. 72 times 4 is 288. 288, that's why it's called Rafach. Because there's four major categories where the Netzutzos fell, which is Ab, Sag, Mauben. From there came out the Netzutzos, the main Netzutzos which we focus on. Again, not to say that they're the only Netzutzos, but once we schlep those up, we schlep everything up, all the other Netzutzos up. So why do we focus on those particularly? Because those are the highest ones just above the world of Atzilus. So the highest ones in the world of the lower worlds. So once you schlep this, the whole entire category goes up. So we're only focused on, we could say, unlimited amount of netzutzos we're going to fetch up. No, we're going to focus on the 72, 72, 72, and once we focus on those four major categories, everything else is going to be schlepped up.
That's right. What's Ab the Ab and Ab the Sag, Ab the Ab?
Yeah, that's right. Ab the Ab, and then you have the Ab the Sag, and then the Ab the Ma, and then the Ab the Ben.
I thought Ab to Ab is completely above us. We don't want to speak about Ab to Ab.
Yeah, but we're talking the Tzutzos Shebo, which fell down.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Now, let me show you very quickly in the Rashash's Lashon, like I said, we'll do this more even later on. So the Rashash says as follows, Malchus de Chesed. We're looking at this chart over here. Malchus de Chesed. So you see on the left-hand side, right? It's on my left now. On the left-hand side says Malchus de Chesed. Malchus de Gvur, Malchus de Tani, Malchus de Malchus. Those are the four major categories. It means this is what broke. What broke is Chesed, Nikud of Chesed, Chesed, Gvur, Tiferet, Nesa, Hod, Yosod. The Malchus, those are the Nikuds which broke. Which part particularly we spoke about, we showed the chart at the beginning, is the Malchus Shebo. So it's the Malchus of the Chesed which broke. Malchus, these are the Kelim. Now, the Netzutzot are here. What we're going to focus is on the Ab. The Ab, says the Rashash, of Madrega Zayin. Like we said, this ab the ma, ab the sag, ab the ma, ab the ben. Those are the four major categories. Now he calls that madrega zayin. What does that mean? So we're going to have to go back to this chart. There's a lot of charts today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. You have infinite amount of madrega. So we're going to madrega zayin, he says. Madrega zayin. So if we go across to the ab the ag, here we go. This is the map. He's mapping it out for us. This is madrega zayin for the ab the ab. Here we go, 72. Remember 4 times 72 is 288. We're focusing on dafka on the highest nitzutzot which there are. So we're going to have 72 in each category, or more or less, 73, 71. But here's 72. That's madrega zayin. See that inside? Ab the ab madrega zayin. You see that? You see that? Ab the madrega zayin. Now, next thing.
What's above the madrega zayin?
Madrega zayin is the ordinary nitzutzot which did not fall into bia, so we don't have to misasik in them. We're only misasik in being matzi, whatever fell into the lower world of which is below, which is demonstrating, which is everything below the red line. That's you're crossing over the red line. You gotta be matzi these nitzutzot.
How can we hide in that? What's hiding?
That's Atzilus. So you have Atzilus, and then you have Bria, and Yetzira, and Asir. The lower world.
And up to up is the highest.
Like I said, we're talking about Nitzutzot will have detached itself. They're not there. They're not the Adab. They're not the Resha, the Adam Kabbalah. They've fallen and they've come all the way down into the lower world.
Right.
So now you have to schlep them back up now. So we're going to
On the
concentrate.
threshold of Atzilus.
This is the threshold. That's a good word. Threshold of Atzilus. So they're just there. You just have to tip them back into Atzilus. That's what.
Right.
That's the tafkid. That's the tafkid. Everything we do, raise up the Shiur Kelim and the Nitzutzot, which we're referring to now as Rafah. Second madrega is madrega Gvura. The Malchus of Gvura, right? We know that's the second sphere that broke is Malchus. It's Gvura. So he calls that's the Abdesag, which is the second chord. Madrega Hey and Zayin. So what's Hey and Zayin? So Hey and Zayin. So this is madrega Shniya. Hey is here's Hey, and Zayin here's Zayin as well. So Zayin and Hey. That means there's Sag over here because it's Absag Ma. And this is Ben. So what we're focusing on the sag was 63. You also need Hey. Look at the 10 letters over here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 10 and 70 and 63, 73. It's close enough, right? So you got 73. Those are the two mekoimis. Once you schlep those up, everything else schlep up. Madrega Shlishi is over here. That's the Tani. Those are the other spheres that broke. Tiferet Netzach Hod Yosod. He says it's Abdama, which is Abdama, and it's madriga is Gimel and Zayin. Gimel, and Zayin. So you have the Ma, and this is 71. So you get 70, 73 over here. So sort of like 72, 72, 72. So you're nearly there. And then finally, it's Malchus de Malchus. That's the last sphere that broke, and it's Abde Ben, which is the last category. And you're going to have, it's called the Madrega Shniya Shehi Dalit. So it's Madrega Shniya, but really we're going to count it as Dalit. So there's just 72. We'll explain later on why we're doing this exactly, okay? So okay, so you have 72 times 4, that's your 288 Nitzutzot. Those are where you have to concentrate. You have to concentrate on Madrega Zayin, come out in every single one. That's the Tzad Shavim, more or less, in all of them. That's the Nekuda Mekazi of the Nitzutzos. You got to hang on to those Nitzutzos and then bring them up with the Shiur Kelim, which is Shiur Kelim. Okay? So those are all given shameless. That's called the Ab, and then the Madrega Shniya is the Sag, and also the Sag with the 10 letters over there. That's 63. The Havai Pshuta and the Sag again. That's going to be 71. And then finally the Ribua of Havai Pshuta. That's the 72 as well. Okay, so it says the Rashash Vaita, V'az Niton Koach. So once you've brought this up, now you have the Koach in Zun. ומבררים גם הם בירורי אחוריים דייסות. ובחלקי כך ודייסות, הכוללים ברפח, ומרים אויזמים בבירורים שלהם שנתברו על ידינו לייסות. Now we said at the beginning, I don't know if you remember, that when Zun broke, In Zun, Be'etzim, even though we read in Otzrot Chaim and Otzrot Chaim that the only thing that broke was Chesed, Gvul, Tiferet, Netzach, which is Zun, they fell into Bia. But when it came to Keser, Chochma, Bina, they only fell over to the lowest parts of Atzilus. Really, that's one shot. But more Ba'amkus, you have to know there's always a Halbosha. So there was, even before all the Shvira happened, there was a Halbosha of Keser in Zun. Chochma, Bina in Zun. So it makes sense that when Zun broke and fell into the lower worlds of Bia, they schlepped whatever was inside of them as well. So that in Bia as well, you're going to find Keser, Birurim of Keser. You're going to find Birurim of Chochma and Bina also there as well. So Kumtois, Nafkamin is that when you make a Tikkun, when you make an Aliyas of Birurim to Melech HaOlam, you have to Bechavan also with those Birurim of Keser and Chochma and Bina, which translates to be, you're going to have to make an Aliyah in Atik, an Aliyah in Arich, an Aliyah in Abba, Ima, Yisasab and Tuna. All those are going to need an Aliyah as well. That's what he's saying over here as well. Okay? So let's see that again. As Nit and Koach, once you brought up these Birurim and the Rafach, Nit and Koach Bezun, Mevarem, Gamem, Birurim, Achorayim de Yasud. How can it be Yasu? We're not talking about Yasu in Atzilus. We're still bringing them back from Bia. No, Teretz is there also in Bia. The Yasu, they call him Ima Rafach. How can they be called Ima Rafach? Means they were there as well. So you're going to have to bring up the Birurim, which are from Yasud, which originate from Bia, and also the Birurim, which are in the world of Atzilus. Those two Birurim you have to bring up. And where do you bring them up to? You bring them up from Zun that Tzilus into Yas, which is the higher Madrega. And then weiter, as once the Birurim are found in Yasud, as nit and kor b'Yasud, umivarim gam hem Birurim anaz mechelke kach ba de Abba ve'ima. You're going to also do the same thing weiter. You're going to schlep out these Birurim of Abba ve'ima, which is also there. The chelik, which is in Atzilus, you're bringing them higher up. Or b'chinas achorayim, the Abba ve'ima. And also the chelik, which is in Bia. So the achorayim, which is in Atzilus, and also the achorayim, also the chelik, which is in Bia, you're going to schlep them up. But Mali Moisa, well, you're going to bring them up all the way up to Mali Moisa, Ima Burim, Shulaim, Nizbahu al Yezun, le Abba ve'ima. You're going to bring them to Abba ve'ima. And that doesn't stop with that. Then you're going to schlep it even higher. Then, once Abba ve'ima receive their koiches, then they go all the way up into Arich. וכן ניתן כל באבא ואמא, המברים גם הם מאחוריים דנאי דארך אנפין. ומחלקי כך בו דארך אנפין, מה למועסה מבורים שלהם מתברים על ידי יסו דארך אנפין. So again, same process, you're going to bring all these burum Abba ve'ima into, with the birurim of Arich Ampin until Arich Ampin. Says the Rashash, V'chein doesn't tell us all the process, but V'chein adel zin be'arich ampin until the atik. V'chein le'olam, olim is the ad ab sag de'ak. You're going to reach it all the way until ab sag de'ak. And then, once you get the ab sag de'ak, you're going to make a great zivug. On page 74, you're going to see over here, once you did the aliyah, there's no diagram for this, but we assume that you've done the aliyah, and then finally over here you're going to see you finally reach the highest levels in ak. This is what you're talking about, the absak, the ak. You're going to make a great zivug, and then all this is now the yeridas hashefa. What is this exactly called? It's called chalukas hashefa. That's what we started off at the beginning. We're going kol achoyzer, galgal achoyzer. All the charts that we showed you is that this is what atik takes, this is what arich takes, this is Abba ve'ima takes, Yasu takes, Tuna takes, Zun takes. They're all going to take their chiluk from Ma'u ben Azu coming out, because it's a new shefa coming out. The Metzach is opening, so the Mas coming out now. The Naim are coming out, are sending out shefa. The Tashlumim of the 9 spheres, which is on the charts. All the Patsum are going to be taking their chiluk as they're coming down, all the way down to Zun, and then finally they're going to get to the Yisosabah, and then find Zun. Okay, that is the process, bigadol, as they say, right? Just in a very general sense. And in Hashem, we're going to go, next time we meet, more be'iyun to understand more details in this process. Okay. Shkoyach.